What's going on, guys? It's Noah. Today I'm going to talk about why I chose RV life on my own property and how this is working out. I'll give you the strategy behind it, who this best works for, and talk about the benefits that I've seen in my own life from doing this. So the name of the game for me is living free and building equity. I want to live free, I want to travel, and with this strategy, it's afforded me to be able to do that along with having a business. But I'm also going to touch on how I got into the property and what it looks like when I first bought it, and then moving towards, this point in my life, how it looks now and what it will look like in the future. So just a quick breakdown. I got this with a VA loan. I'm a veteran, so I used 0% down loan. I also asked for $20,000 in seller concessions. So on the back end, in the closing, they give me $20,000 in the form of credits towards closing costs. So I got the VA funding fee covered, as well as taxes and things that I would have had to pay for out of pocket. So at the end, I've only put $1,000 in earnest money and $26 closing to cover other closing costs. And then I also got the commission because I was my own agent when I bought this house. I was a real estate agent and licensed active. I still am in Washington State, but I'm not active. I'm probably going to change that soon. But it was also the only house I sold myself, so I'm a heck of an agent. In the beginning, what this looked like was I needed a separate living space from a main house. That way I could live cheap, save most of my money every month because I'm living in the smaller unit or, in the backyard, and then I rented the main house. So that was the initial strategy. I didn't want a duplex because duplexes do not appreciate the same as a single family house. I was also looking at the inventory available. There's really not a whole lot of modern, post 1980 houses available here. In Washington State, it seems like there's a lot more historical properties. Like this house, for example, it was built in 1912, and that's pretty old. But I also wanted to buy closer to downtown rather than further away. It was news to me, but when I was learning about this and kind of the strategy behind real estate, maybe some of the theory, and if you compare this to a car, most people don't want a Lotus Elise. People want a Toyota 4Runner. You're looking for the Toyota 4Runner of houses, something that applies to everybody, which is 3-bedroom, 2-bath. So that's what you're looking for. And that's what I was looking for when I bought this place, except I wanted to be closer to downtown, not further away. Further away is not desirable. And of course, I want to live further away. I want to live free, live off grid, whatever. But that's just me. And I know I'm not the norm. So the 4Runner of houses is closer to downtown, not further away, 3-bedroom, 2-bath. And if you get a detached ADU and rent it out, you can live here and then rent the main house and cover most of the expenses, and you're paying minimal out of pocket. How it ended up happening was I got the RV. I couldn't actually rent any spots in RV parks. So I was thinking, man, I just need to go back to my house, put it in my driveway, and live rent-free in that sense. Of course, I didn't lower rent, but rent is still the same, but I give my tenants money out of pocket, just on the side, for taking up the parking space. And of course, I'm not throwing parties and take up the front yard and just start hoarding a bunch of shit. It's already redneck enough having an RV in the driveway. So I try to keep it as low key as possible, not make a bunch of noise, just to keep it, respectful. Nobody wants to be living in a house and then the fucking landlord shows up. He's like, hey, I'm gonna live in the driveway. Like, that's kind of a bad deal. So I give some money to the tenant that, I took his parking spot, and he's gonna walk past it every day. So I do keep that in mind too. The RV's a little bit older, so I did rent in an RV park for a couple weeks, and I just decided to heck with that. I'm just gonna go live at my house, and I'm gonna build things this way. And it's been almost about 6 to 8 months since I've been doing this. And it's only now that I'm getting ready to move back into the ADU behind me and sell this RV that I've realized the value of this. And I'm probably gonna do this again with a different RV. I'd like to get an Airstream or something like that. But that's how it happened. So it means some of the benefits that would apply to everybody who's watching this, like if you get a house and it needs renovations or needs maintenance, you can park the RV and walk 10 feet and go finish the painting work or the renovation work that you have to do on it. So you're not driving to and from, you know, your personal living space. You're here, you're on site. So you have eyes on it, you can get work done, you can have contractors here, which I haven't done yet. I just do it myself. And obviously I already touched on this, but you can live here rent-free while you have it rented out. The other aspect of this is that I'm building equity every month as the loan balance gets paid down by the rent coming in. I'm able to continue living free because I'm not tied down to a specific place other than the maintenance and the responsibility that comes with owning the rental property. And of course, if you did get a fixer-upper, you could also live in, you know, the place you're fixing up, which is totally fine, but it's also less, you know, mess. If you're not trying to cook in there and live, you have open space to just get it all done, knock it out. So if, you know, you do get something that, you know, needs renovations, let's say next week I find a deal and it's a fixer-upper, I just move my RV there, have my own personal space, and again, you can still work on the property while you're living in there, but it's much better if it's just an empty structure. You're able to get all the work done. It can be messy. You can have, you know, dust everywhere, and you're not getting your own personal belongings, you know, nasty. And honestly, I think this works really well for veterans with RVs because you can do the same thing. Even if you don't have an RV yet, you can go pick an RV up like this one for $5,000. I mean, that's how much I bought this for, basically, but I did have to put new tires on it. I did some roof maintenance. I did other RV maintenance that I know how to do because I'm in the RV business. So you can get an RV if you ask for money. You can negotiate money from the seller to go back to you at closing and maybe save some of your down payment for an RV. It would work really well if you're a veteran with an RV. It would also work really well if you're a nomad and you're looking to settle, but you're still not giving up your freedom. I consider myself more of a nomadic person. I hate being in one place forever. It just seems like hell to me, waking up to a 9-to-5 job and getting in your Toyota Corolla and going to work and coming home and going to work and going home and just staying in one place for years. Like, I cannot fathom living that kind of life. But for many people, it works for them, or they just do it because they don't know the other options that are available. So if you do want to be a nomad, you can still leverage real estate and live free by doing it this way. Of course, this also works for investors who want flexible living and to make income at the same time. I also had the thought of, you know, what if I were able to, you know, acquire an apartment complex, but I still don't want to pay rent. I mean, I kind of nerd out about living really cheap and below my means, and this is just one way I do it. But point being, you're still able to, as an investor, live with flexibility and then have the income on top, like if you were to get a cash flowing property. So that's kind of cool. But anyway, I just wanted to get on here, talk about, you know, living free, building equity, how I'm doing that. Because honestly, I feel it's super underutilized and nobody talks about it as much as they should, especially today when rent is spiraling out of control and housing is very unaffordable. You can put more inventory on the market for people to rent. You know, the more rentals that are available, hopefully the theory is that rent prices would go down if there were a ton more units available. And as much as I dislike not being able to afford to live in a house sometimes because it's just not, you know, in the realm of reality for people, if they don't have a high paying job or a skill they can monetize, you can still make it happen in 2025 if you find the right house. But point being, like, yeah, I dislike that housing's unaffordable, but I didn't let it stop me, and I don't think it should stop other people as well. Anyway, that's all I got for today. It's just a short video. It's just me living in the RV on my own property, living free, building equity. So that's what it's about. I'll see you guys in the next video.